Sky hooks. Buy it or build it? Let's find out. I know Ninja Gym owners and ninjas alike are always looking for the best way, cheapest way, most efficient way to build, make, acquire obstacles. So I'm going to talk about the sky hooks. We want to build it or buy it. What's cheaper, what's faster, what's easier, what's more effective. Essentially, one thing you need for this, for material, it's a piece of tubing, steel tubing. So we're going to use 1.5 inch steel tubing. It's 1.5 inch by 1/8 inch. And that's similar to the DGS sky hook. So we're going to use this. You're going to need a piece of that. There's essentially two ways of doing this. One, we can bend it. Two, we can relief cut it, bend it, and then weld it and clean it up. Those are going to be pretty much your only two ways of doing this and making a sky hook if you're going to make it at home. So if you want to relief cut it, bend it, and then weld it, you're going to need a saw and or a grinder. Hand grinder works, just takes you a little longer. Now if we're going to bend it, we need a hydraulic press. And we'll just use the energy of the press and the power of the press and jack to jack it up and bend it. So first, we're gonna cut it, relief cut and bend it, or kerf it, yeah, whatever. Relief cut it and bend it, weld it, see how that works. And then second, we're gonna use the tube bender and the hydraulic press to see if we can bend it that way. Probably want to go a little farther. Yeah, we got to go about 3/4 of the way through. Always remember, eye protection, ear protection. All right, so we're at about, I don't know, an 80 degree. We got to go probably about 90, I don't know, 100. What is it past that? Whatever. So we got to go a whole nother notch yet, and then bend it a little more. Remember that eye protection. I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna get some gloves. Okay, gloves. So if you see, I actually took out a moon shape so we can get a little more bend out of it. Oh yeah. All right, there we have it. We got a nice sky hook bent up. The only issue now is we got to weld these back together. We got to make this one solid piece. So let's do that. Now, we're gonna clean up all these burrs, get it nice and cleaned up. See, this side's good. This side's where the blade was kicking it out. You can see all the burrs there. So I'm gonna clean that up, then we're gonna weld it. Gotta plug it in. Nice and shiny. Let's weld it up. With that bend on it. Okay, let's grind it. There we have it. Skyhook. Now I will add the shaft and it'll be ready. That shaft, bigger piece, this is what we'll clamp onto. Your skyhook in there. I already pre-drilled some holes. This is where I'm going to tack weld. That'll help hold it in place, and I'll weld around here. Go like that. All right, now we're gonna bend one on our tube bender. All right, I could turn my earbuds off. Got the podcast going. All right, so now we got a straight stock. We're gonna go to work on this. So the first thing we're gonna do, you don't just throw it in there and bend it. First thing we're gonna do so this thing won't kink is I'm gonna stuff this thing full of sand and it'll keep it strong. I don't know, whatever, and then it'll help it stop from kinking. And I'll show you an example of that, but hopefully we can get it bent. Nice curve without any big kinks. All right, first thing, we're gonna tape off the end so we can pack this full. Use a few layers, because it is just tape. Duct tape is super durable. However, we're really going to be putting a lot of pressure on it. So we want to make it ultra. So I do 3 layers like that. And we'll wrap it around. I'm only going to do one, well, 2. All right. Okay, got me broomstick to shove down the pipe. I'm gonna put it over the bucket so the sand can fall in there. Now you could use a funnel for this. However, waste of my time. But if you want to be a newbie and use a funnel and not get your hands dirty, go for it. But waste of our time. Then we got to pack it a little bit. Don't jam it so hard you pop the tape off the other end. This sand is a little bit damp. I don't know if that helps or not, but packs pretty good. Put a little bit in it and pack it. It fills up quicker than you'd think. And you do have to fill the whole pipe, or the whole tube, because that pressure needs to be equal all the way through. Again, you can try bending the tube without putting sand in it. But this type of bender, tube bender, will kink it. We're getting there. There we go. All right, now it's packed full of sand. Tape this off. We'll throw in the bender. So we got a hand jack. This right here tightens it up and loosens the jack. Goes down. This jacks it up. However, this one has, this is a hydraulic jack, and this one has an air connection, so I can pump it up with air. I'm going to put it right about there. So I'm going to mark the center. So I know if I move it back and forth where my center is, because once it starts bending, then you're only pretending. No, because then you lose track of where center is. Okay, I'm jack it up. All right, I went up a little bit, but I don't do it all in one push. Oops. Now I gotta jack it all the way up. I take a little bit at a time, so I'm gonna move it back a little bit, and also I'm gonna lube that up. Okay, engaged. Okay. So the tubing gets stuck in the die because the die is just a little bit smaller than it should be for this pipe or this tube, but this tube actually bends better with a die that's just a little bit smaller because it stays more compact. That might be something I just made up, but I know it works better. Ooh. Why? There it is. Okay, now I'm gonna move it back over past the dead center. Make sure we're straight. As you can tell, this is probably a little bit easier than cutting and welding and grinding, but we will see. Oh, it's pushing the jack up. This is the worst part, getting it out of there. Again, move it this way here. Like this. First, I want to get it started with the hand jack, and then I'll hit it hard with the air. Picking that out. gonna tip over. Let's take a peek at it. It's one way of doing it. See how the die sticks on there like that? Let's hammer that off there. Not looking too shabby. There we go. All right, we're gonna take the sand out of it. Now, if you ever put duct tape on metal or anything you can cut or that a blade can hit, you're always gonna try to cut it off. Me trying to unwrap this is gonna take forever. So what you wanna do, take a utility blade, like for a utility knife or a box cutter, cut it on a couple sides, just score it and tear it off. Because even this is difficult. But you see it'll come off in chunks. All right, let's take that out. Oh, I hear it. Here it comes. Skyhook. I'll shorten that up. There we have it. DGS, curved, cut, welded and grinded. And last but not least, tube bender. DGS, just order one online. Comes in a nice package with a pin or a key. $250 to $350 shipped to your door. Now, relief cut, cleaned up, welded, and grinded. Turned out really great. Looks really good. It seems to be like just as good as that DGS one. Took a lot of time. This one with time, materials, and tools, I would have to charge some like $200 to $225 and then ship it. I mean, it's same as DGS. Then lastly, the tube bent one, I'd charge some like 120 bucks for this and shipped, you know, call it 170 to your door. There you have it. Oh yeah. If you're gonna make a bunch of them at one time, like take a day to do it or 2 days, it's probably worth your time. However, I would suggest just working a little overtime if you want to order one and just order some. But if you enjoy building things like this, which I do in my free time, when I have free time, make some.